I finally got to see the Elvis Presley movie. I saw it not once, but twice on HBO Max. The movie starts with Austin Butler and Tom Hanks. The movie is narrated by Tom Hanks, who plays the character Colonel Colonel Parker. Um, Both actors did a phenomenal job. I feel that this movie, what Selena did for J Lo, I feel that this movie will do just that for Austin Butler. The makeup that they put on him to play Elvis Presley is on point. It has outstanding production design. The directing was brilliant. The editing was phenomenal. The acting was just incredible. Um, One of the things that stood out to me about this movie is the relationship between Elvis Presley and his mother. They had a really great mother and son relationship based on what I saw from the movie. Again, since this is based on a true story, I don't know what things were left out and what things were accurate, and what were some things that were exaggerated over the top, because you know how Hollywood movies are. But Elvis Presley and his mom, they were they were great together. You saw how overprotective she was when, for example, when Elvis was performing on stage and the ladies tried to um, they tried to pull him from his pants, and she was like that's my son, like what are you doing, you're hurting him. Like, I like to see a mother and son relationship, but in this movie at some point, as there were certain parts where I felt that the relationship could have been like a little too weird because of how a little overprotective she was with him. So, but then you saw at some point in the movie that Elvis told her that, nothing that I do for you is good enough for you, because he became this superstar. He bought a house for his parents. He was the provider. He did so much, and it was still not enough for the mom. But it came to a tragic end when Elvis Presley, either he had to go to jail or go to the army. So when he went to the army, his mother, who has a drinking problem, was so worried about him because she didn't want to lose a second son. So the more she got worried, the more she drank, and she ended up dying, which it affected Elvis Presley a lot. It affected the family a lot. So the colonel, who is his manager, who became a father figure to him at that moment, he was there for him. But then, the relationship between Elvis and Colonel turned to sour at some point in Elvis' career because, he overworked him. He was throwing his money, he was pissing his money away. But Colonel was also the guy who helped Elvis reach to a certain level in terms of making Hollywood movies, performing in so many huge events. So those are some of the things that you saw in the movie. Austin Butler performing as Elvis Presley, the dance moves and everything was on point in my opinion. Elvis signing to RCA changed the course of everything of his career, his family, his life. So signing to RCA was one of the best decisions he ever made in his life. Then you had a situation with the Memphis segregation laws, because the minute that Elvis Presley was moving and wiggling, that rubbed feathers on so many people, because they felt that he was dancing like the way African Americans were dancing. And clearly you see in the movie that Elvis was inspired by black culture, black music. So, and it was just a different time. The 50s and 60s, the racism was at the all-time high. One of the important parts of the movie is when we saw Elvis react to Martin Luther King's death, Bobby Kennedy's death, and Elvis. You see nowadays that you see celebrities that they speak out on social issues and things like that. Elvis Presley, he felt like he needed to do that. He wanted to do that, but Colonel didn't want him to focus on that. He wanted to focus on singing Christmas songs, Santa Claus, and things like that. But it got to a point where Elvis rebelled against him and he just went to do what he wanted to do. So, and that's why as the movie went on, you saw that Elvis was slowly growing tired of Colonel. He grew up basically fed up of constantly being told what to do. And I feel like majority of us human beings, like, we get to a point where we don't want to be told what to do or what to say or what to feel all the time. And it was the pivotal moment of their relationship dwindling down. This movie is phenomenal. I hope that Austin Butler gets nominated for something because he was just incredible, outstanding, and you could see how much hard work it was put in for him to bring this Elvis Presley character to life. So I really hope that much more bigger opportunities come to him after this movie. Overall, I give this movie a 4.4 out of 5 stars. If you haven't seen it, I highly recommend that you should do so. I still need to do more homework on the real life of Elvis Presley, because no matter how big of a superstar he is or anyone is, there's still something about them that you want to learn more about. And Elvis Presley is one of those figures that I've heard him my entire life. I remember when I was little, I had a barber who was a big Elvis Presley fan, and he had so much collection in his barber shop, and it was one of the early signs of me recognizing who Elvis Presley was or is. Unfortunately, he was 42 years old when he passed away. He dealt with so many demons, but when I watched this Elvis Presley movie, I thought about my barber always going there when I was like 8, 9, 10, all the way to like 12, 13 years old. So it brings back a lot of memories. Thank you for watching this video, and as always, be safe, and may God bless you all.